on this trail, there's a cave along the way, and it was used by the primitives around the 0th century to about 1400s, they assume, from the stone artifacts and the pottery they found. There was paintings in there at one time, but it was worn out, and people like to mess with nature and history. But there was this Italian guy that apparently lived in there for a little bit before he was murdered. He practiced the idea of, or the spiritual idea of trying to traverse the planet with very little earthly possessions. The locals were afraid for his life after they realized that someone took a shot at him. And he's like, well, outside my cave, I'll light a fire every Friday to know that I'm still alive. And then eventually one Friday, there's no fire. And they found him dead. He was murdered. But they never found out by who. He was 68, backpacked basically from Italy and then all over Europe. Went to South America, walked all the way up to Canada, and then back here. Sounds like my kind of guy. In the hostel that I'm staying at, I met a man that's from Britain named Damien. He's talking about his backpacking through Italy, and then he took a 2-month vacation to come here and go to all the major cities and landmarks by Amtrak. I'm going up that mountain we've been looking at. There's a mine up here, but it stops there. There's a lot of cattle fencing around, so I'm sure a lot of this is private cattle land. Oh well. So I'm at the Dripping Springs Natural Reserve. There's no gatehouse, but you still have to pay for a ticket. It's only $5 a day. Interesting formation because I got to walk around this really big rock, and it's bigger than I thought, which makes me wonder how big this mountain I've been driving around is. And probably not supposed to walk up it or close to the top. And either being private property or it's just dangerous. It's really rocky out here. There's several rattlesnakes warning signs, and all the riverbeds are dry right now, but I'm sure once it starts raining, if they ever have a sudden storm, it might like wash out everything and flood. It's supposed to be a mine shaft up here, but it's supposed to be before the waterfall. But like I said, when it's raining a lot or it's in storm season, it's probably a lot better. But the trail runs parallel with the creek bed, so it probably washes out just as bad. I decided to come down the creek bed, see how long it takes before I get bit by a rattlesnake. Well, these guys are definitely mountains. But now, since I'm going through the weapons testing site for the next hour or so, now the game turns into, is it a sandstorm or is it a bomb? You know when you say bruh so friggin' loud that the car next to you probably heard you? Because no one uses their tongues. Tumbleweed that seems to be maybe a foot to 2 feet in diameter, getting plowed by a car or even a truck, but especially by a car because it's kind of like a beach ball size thing, and just obliterating because it's so dry and so light.
it's enjoyable to watch, and it makes me chuckle every time I see it. I've seen one person that was from Florida that totally like freaked out about it, but everyone else is just like, yeah, nah. Which I hit a few myself, and it doesn't do anything. You can't even hear it or feel it. So it's just they psych themselves out, and that made me laugh even more.
I just woke up. The roof is leaking. So I'm catching water. But I went up front and they're like, oh yeah, it must be the guy that just came up to tell us that his toilet is overflown. I got back to my room and I'm wondering how long ago was just now. I think it's been leaking for a little bit longer than just now. So I moved all my stuff to one side of the room in case the roof blows in. So I know that I said that I like terrible motels. This was actually a really nice place. But I don't know how much that I should continue listening to it. If I should just go park in a truck stop somewhere. Like, I don't know what will happen if the roof falls in. But I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. I feel like it started leaking from that center spot. It looks pretty dank. Well, they moved me. And the clerk admits that it's not just the toilet. And that the person should have got a hold of them way sooner. The woman at the front desk was like, I'm sorry, we don't have any more king size rooms. And I'm sorry, it's on the 3rd floor. And I was like, it's okay. I was just concerned. Every once in a while, a king has to take a leak. I don't know if she didn't catch it or if she didn't think it was funny. She seemed pretty stressed out, so she probably didn't catch it. So, hey, friends. Me not being very, in the know of how to do a vlog properly, either from it being awkward to talking to the camera, not getting enough B footage, just not being organized at all. This entire trip was fantastic, and sadly, I did not get very many videos that were coherent with each other. So I may have another video, maybe 2 videos worth of stuff. But other than that, it's going to get really choppy really fast. But yeah, that was Dripping Springs, and I was heading up to through Roswell to Albuquerque that day. So that sunset video and a little bit earlier was the sunset video that I watched over the city of Albuquerque. Have nothing from Roswell recorded. And I have a little bit from Colorado Springs from when I went up there to meet up with some family. A little bit from when I got stranded in the desert in Southern California and a little bit of the beach. But other than that, there's not much of a story except for a little friend I meet in Tucson. So, if you guys enjoy it so far, I'd be surprised. But yeah, thanks for those that have been watching me along the way.